Hi, today what I wanted to do was share a conversation that I was having with my grandson the other day, my oldest grandson. Now, he's about 20 years old, and we were just talking about life events. We were talking about, should he continue on with college? Should he consider a trade school maybe? What does he want to do as far as a job is concerned? What is he looking for in terms of a career? Like I said, just life events. And during this conversation, the subject of owning a home came up. At that point, he said, "Oh, my generation will never be able to own a home." And I said, "Where is this coming from?" And at that point in time, he says, "TikTok." I said, "All right, time out. TikTok, I'm sure it's a fine social media platform." I said, "But there are people out there that if they have a narrative that they're trying to drive home, they are going to use certain fear tactics to drive that narrative." And that's possibly what is going on right now with those types of stories that are going into his feed, if you will. So I said, you need to change your feed by clicking on other ones that talk about how you can own a home and what do you need to do to buy a home and things like that. It'll change all the algorithms, and next thing you'll be getting more helpful information. Because as I explained to him, every generation has had obstacles to overcome when it comes to purchasing a home. I can remember when I bought my first home, I was probably a few years older than he is right now. And at that time, interest rates were like 10.5%, 11%. Now, granted, the price of the home was less, but I was also making a lot less money. So it's all somewhat relative. You can even look back a few years ago when rates were 2.5%, 3%. And the obstacles that homeowners had to overcome then, or home buyers had to overcome then, was the fact in some cases they had to pay $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 over the list price in order to get the house. So there's always obstacles to overcome. There's always things that you have to deal with when you're looking to buy a home. Right now it's higher rates, it's higher prices, but there are things that can be done to help you with those. And so what you need to do, in my opinion, is make sure you're reaching out to reliable sources. Reach out to a local loan officer like myself and find out what's going on with the market. Talk to a local real estate agent to also see, are prices going up, are prices going down? Are sellers willing to help with closing costs? Are they not willing to help with closing costs? This is the kind of information you need when you're trying to determine whether you can buy a home or not. And then the other thing that you want to do is when you're looking to buy a home, make sure and set a realistic budget for yourself. Look at your expenses, and maybe you have to make some sacrifices. Maybe you have to look and say, okay, hey, I'm spending too much money on this and we can cut some of this out. And when I do, that's going to leave me more money that could go towards a mortgage payment. So look at your overall budget and see what you can do there. Also, set an individual plan for yourself that involves if you need to maybe save for more down payment, or maybe you need to pay down some debt, or maybe you need to work on your credit score, get that up a little bit. Whatever the case may be, every person's situation is slightly different, and there's no one size fits all. So it's very important, like I said, to talk to an expert. Talk to someone who has done it a few times and can walk you through it and explain it to you. If you have questions around getting qualified and seeing what's going on and how you can own a home, feel free to reach out and call us, text us. We're always here to answer those questions. Because remember, owning real estate, owning a home, that's a long-term investment. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And like I said, everyone is going to have some obstacles to overcome. But if you really want to buy a home, you can overcome those obstacles. I know you can. And we're there to help you do it. So again, reach out with any questions, call, text. And then if you found this information helpful, please do me a favor and subscribe to our page. If you're talking to some of your friends and family and they're talking about the fact that, oh, they'll never be able to buy a home because maybe they're getting their information from TikTok, do me a favor, forward them this video so that they can see that there are possibilities they can own a home if they desire. And like I said, we would love to be the ones to help them with that. You have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.